What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Cover Band Central official podcast number 205 for Tuesday, August 29th, 2023. I'm Steve Witchell in New Orleans.
I'm Tony B coming to you from New Jersey. What's happening?
I'm going to turn you up a little bit there. I
Turn it
just
up.
realized just after I hit go live, the second after I hit it, I realized that I didn't set it up to record us individually, which I normally do so I can mix it for the audio podcast. And I hit go live, and then I'm like, and I went and tried to do it in the settings, and I couldn't do it. So it's too late. So hopefully the mix is going to be good here for the audio podcast.
All right.
We'll
Check
find
2,
out.
1, 2. How's it sound, Steve? Good?
I mean, it sounds good to me, but
Okay.
it's going to be different when we listen back to the actual audio recording.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. We'll see. People will still get the idea. Speaking of people, if you're coming in here live, come on in and say hello. We are broadcasting live, and come on, tell us where you're from and anything that's on your mind. We will say hello back to you, just like Loris. I'm going to say Loris Jen. Maybe it's Jen Loris.
Or
I don't know.
Jen, hello.
Says hello, and then
Hola.
Praise Daniel said hello to Jen or Loris, not to us. But come on in and say hello to us. Tell us where you're from, and get in on the conversation tonight or today.
Come on in. Let's go.
If you're watching the replay, just as good. The replay is available on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. The link is in the description for that. And the link is the replay, I should say, is also available on the Facebook page and the Facebook group, the Cover Band Central Ones. John Dickey's here from Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
John, welcome.
Mark is here from Atlanta, Georgia.
Mark, welcome.
Nice to see you guys. Thanks for coming in and stopping by and all that.
Welcome, Steve, to Fantasy Podcast.
Robin's here from Spokane, Washington. I like Spokane. Good times in Spokane I've had.
Many a good time to be had in Spokane, Steve.
And Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, which is not far from Spokane, Washington. Good times up there, Tony.
Spokane, Idaho.
Stories I cannot tell here in public.
No, for that one, come see our other podcast.
Right. Oh my goodness. So we had a couple weeks off again, but we're back here live, and nothing major.
Summertime, man.
It's summertime. Yeah,
consistency kind of gets a little disheveled.
Yeah, it does. Nothing major in my playing life. I'm just doing Friday and Saturday afternoons right now in New Orleans on Bourbon Street at Bourbon Bandstand from 2 to 6:15. That will probably continue for another week or two, really until football season starts. That's when it gets busier here, and hopefully we'll be playing a little bit more. But how about you? You've been playing?
I have.
All right.
I'm playing this weekend, Friday night at a car show, and then Saturday outdoors again, another venue.
Nice.
That will be fun. Especially the car show, because a lot of people go to that event. So it's a big event, multiple bands, multiple stages. So we're on the main stage, which would be great.
Right.
And then let's see. I played not this past weekend. This past weekend, Friday night, I went to see Jackson Browne at the Beacon Theater. Great show. Me and my youngest son Cole went, and band was great. And it's great, Steve. Jackson Browne takes requests. So he has a set list, and as he's going through his set, people are yelling out songs, and all of a sudden he'll say, "Wow, that's a good song. I didn't think about that one. I didn't put it on the set list, but if you guys want to hear it," and then the whole place would go crazy, and then he'd say, "All right." And then if it was just a song that he did, the whole band would leave the stage. He'd hand off his guitar, and he'd go walk behind the piano, and then he'd play the song. And then he'd come back out again. He did it all night. So he substituted maybe like 5 or 6 songs for songs that were on the list with requests.
Was it requests of his songs or requests of covers?
No, requests of his songs.
Of his songs, right?
Of his songs, for sure.
That's cool.
But he sounded great. He sounded really good. And then Saturday, my drumming mentor, global drumming ambassador, Dom Famularo, one of my dear close friends. He's battling pancreatic cancer.
Oh.
And he had a 70th birthday party this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And, Liberty DeVito was there. He invited all drummers. And he had an all-star band. Guys from Billy Joel's band were there. horn player, and he had 2 drum sets, and he had everybody get up and play a tune. So
Cool.
everyone got to get up and play a song as a tribute to Dom for his birthday. And just
Nice.
how far-reaching his influence has been is unbelievable. I mean, the people that were there, I saw Corky Lang from Mountain. I saw, uh, Klaus Hessler from Germany. I saw Bobby Rondinelli, Liberty DeVito,
Mhm.
David Garibaldi from Tower of Power. I mean, there's just so many
Wow.
people there that are such close friends of his because he's been in the industry for so long and he's been such a motivational powerhouse and a force to be reckoned with, for Sabian traveling around the globe. So for tonight's episode, since we're going to be talking about coaching and mentorship and teaching, and I like to dedicate this podcast episode to my hero, Dom Famularo.
So it's done. It is done.
So be it.
So be it. Excellent. I like it. Um, Darren's here from Colorado Springs. What's up, Darren? Good
Hey,
to see you.
Darren, welcome.
And across the pond, Alan, I'm going to say in Paris,
Mm-hmm.
Paris, France. Alain Paul Sherry. Alain. Alain. I don't know how to say that word. But
Yes,
hello
let's
and
hear it.
welcome and thanks for joining us. We really definitely appreciate all of you coming in here live. And even if you're watching the replay, we like that too. Um, but yeah, let's jump right in, Tony, shall we, to our
Let
topic
us.
since you just mentioned it. Um, I'll preface this whole thing by saying that yeah, I'm offering now for with Cover Band Central a coaching program where for social media to up level your social media game to get more people to your shows. Ultimately, that's what you want to do, and start making some more money. I see too often people trying to promote themselves online, musicians, and not really knowing what they're doing. And it's not their fault; they just never been taught the right way. And there's really nobody out there that teaches it. But now there is because I've built this Cover Band Central page up to over 750,000 people, and I did it by myself. And I did it the hard way. I learned from doing research. I learned from trial and error. I learned from making a lot of mistakes and tweaking things over the years, trying different techniques, more research, more mistakes, all that. But now I'm going to show you the shortcut so you don't have to make all those mistakes. Now, there's a couple different options. There's the book, which is called Get 'em to the Show. You'll see it behind me there on the poster and in the corner as well. It's an ebook, super cheap, $7, and you can read it. And if it doesn't work for you, you got 60 days to go through it and try that stuff. And if it doesn't work for you, you get your money back, $7. But I will say the people that have gotten it already and have given me feedback are thrilled. And they're putting it into action and I see it online. It's showing up more on my newsfeed, what they're doing. And it works. It works. It works. It works. Because I've proven that it works. And that's what you need to do. The things that are in this book are the things you need to do to up level your game. And it's not as there's a lot of people out there that say, yeah, I know, I do this and that. I'm telling you, you don't know. Because I had to sit and think about it. Like, what are all the things that I've done? What did I do right? And I had to write it all down. And it didn't all come at once. I had to think like, oh yeah, that's right. There's this and this. So a $7 investment, it's way worth it. If it's going to change your whole game social media wise, I make it easy for you. I make it, um, step by step so you can follow along. You can do those things and you can measure your results. You'll see a difference exponentially in a very short amount of time. Very short amount of time. Seriously.
And it's
Um,
proven, Steve. It has a track record
Proven. Yeah.
and many satisfied customers. No one's asked
Yeah.
for their money back.
No, no. And so I did record an audiobook too for the ebook, and I just put that up for sale today. So the link is in the description for both of those, the ebook and the audiobook. So if you want to jump ahead, click on that link and get yourself a copy now. You can do that right now. And it's an immediate download. You get it. You can start reading right away or listening right away if you want to listen to the audiobook. But also the big thing is the coaching thing. And that's the thing that really I think is the most helpful of all because you could read the book, you could listen to the audiobook, you could start doing those things, but you're going to have questions along the way because you've never done this like this before, the way I've done it over the last 10 years. And everybody's situation is unique. Everybody has their unique challenges and their unique situations. So it really helps to have somebody that can answer your questions and guide you. So that's why I'm offering this whole coaching thing. Again, the link is in the description for this too. What I'll do, Tony, is get together with people for an hour
Hmm.
like this, a Zoom call, just like we're doing here, kind of like a Zoom call,
Yeah.
and go through everything, dig into all the stuff that you're doing, see what you're doing right, see what your assets are, and how we can grow all that, and see where you need room for improvement, see what can be fixed, and give you really a plan of action during that hour that you could write it down. Okay, you're going to do this. Give you that plan of action so you can get started right away, and you will see a difference right away. So I'm offering that now. It's limited a number of time slots, but once you sign up for it, you'll see the time slots that are available. I tried to spread it out, so like morning, afternoon, and night. So there's a time slot available for everybody. But that is a major thing that I feel like can help people out there. And I'm really excited, dude, to do it. I really love teaching people. I really love showing people what I've learned and how they can use it to their advantage. And I love seeing it work. I love seeing when people are excited, like, wow, this stuff is so easy and it actually really works. And it really is easy. And it doesn't cost you anything, really. And it doesn't really take a lot of time either. It's just about knowing the right way to do things. So I felt like, and I think you'll agree, like you just said about Dom, that in my career, anytime I wanted to really learn something, if I had somebody holding my hand or coaching me or showing me what to do, that would really fast track me to the goal that I was looking to achieve. Wouldn't you agree?
Not only would I agree, but what I will say is that, you need someone who has the experience, the knowledge, right, to be able to assess your need, guide you, help to hold your hand, but also, like you said, on the coaching aspect, a deeper dive, right? Whether it be a lesson in anything, a life lesson, a drum lesson, a music lesson, a coaching session with, social media, whatever it might be, you can look at the plan and you can have a guideline. I can go buy a drum book and I can put it up on on a music stand and I can go through it and I can read it and I can understand it and I can try to read through it. You know, if I'm looking at it for the first time, there may be an introduction to the book and it may explain how to use it, right? But it's not going to tell me exactly how to read the music. So I need to know to do that already. So let's say I already know how to use social media, Steve, right? I'm already online, I'm already doing things. So that's good, right? So I
Yeah,
buy this book because I know how to play drums. So I say, oh, I can just look at this book and I can just read through it and I can do the exercises and I'm going to succeed. But the critical component of that is if you have a teacher, a coach, a mentor, someone to walk you through that, they can explain to you exactly the perspective of which you need to view that, through, and also all of the shortcuts to this technique, this achieving this accent. You may see in a book a way to do a certain technique or to hold a drumstick, but unless someone actually shows you and you physically have someone coaching you to do it, oh, now I understand how to get it to bounce like that, or no, oh, now I understand how to get that chord to sound full. Like the bulb goes off, but maybe I practiced for 6 months by myself and I never had that epiphany because no one pointed it out to me because I'm looking at it a certain way. So I think
right.
your course is a good, you know, uh, alternative to just trying to go it alone. Or also, if you do buy the book, I think a lot of people have success, but I think you'll have more success if there's someone there to help you through that way, to answer questions, to do a deeper dive on certain things, and to tell you some shortcuts that maybe they didn't think of, or something that's particular to their exact situation that maybe is an anomaly or maybe not be, the same for all situations.
Yeah, the tips in the book are general that would work for anybody. But yeah, you want to get specific with certain people because their situation is unique. It's different. And Leo bought the book. He's here in Minnesota.
Hmm.
I like from Minnesota.
Yeah,
Thanks for
Leo.
dropping in, Leo. And Brad is in Florida. I'm guessing he said Hurricane Central.
Yeah, he's
Um,
definitely over there.
this is a hurricane. I forgot the name. Starts with an I.
Mm.
About to hit Florida. But yeah, um, there's not like social media is relatively new. It compared to playing drums or compared to a lot of things that we
Mhm.
do in society. social. I mean, Facebook came out. What it was 2005, six is when seven maybe when Facebook debuted. I didn't join it till 2008, which was only 15 years ago. So
Well, and the technology too that applies to everything in life, right? Look how far in 15, 20 years technology has come. It's the same thing with the internet, right? It's the same way of approaching it where the rules have changed, you know? The game
mhm.
is different, you know? You need to adapt, pivot, adjust, and, have the right tools for the current, you know, situation. And it's also going to change again, right? So you have to be
Yeah.
prepared for that and have a good understanding of how it works so you can be prepared for when you do need to do something different.
Yeah, it's changed significantly over the last 10 years of me, just the last 10 years of me running Cover Band Central. A lot of things have changed on Facebook. And so you have to adapt, you have to evolve, you have to learn as you go, too, which is what I've done. I've learned a lot of things as I've gone. But yeah, the advantage for you to have this book or to have me coaching you is you can bypass a lot of that learning because I've done it already. So I can hand it over to you, currently, the way things are now, what works now, dispel a lot of the myths out there. And that's something a section I have in the book of popular myths. And we were just talking about this before we started, but I'll share this. Um, a lot of people are worried about overposting. They think they're going to be posting too much and it's going to start to annoy people. Now, for Cover Band Central, for the page, I do 24 posts a day. I schedule them ahead of time and I do that many a day. And there's a thing in the analytics you can go look at and see how many people hit a post or how many people clicked hide all posts. That's the thing that you can do if you're like, all right, this page is annoying me. And rather than unfollow the page, you could just click hide all posts so you don't see any of the posts on your newsfeed, but you're still following the page. So you go visit from time to time.
Gotcha.
That number of like hide all posts is so small compared to the number of reach I get. It's not even in consideration. It is like 0.0001% of the people. So that's never going to be a thing. So if you think, I've been posting too much, no, you have not. And you never will. And this is the example I give in the book. I say, hypothetically, if you have the maximum 5,000 friends, if on Facebook you can have 5,000 friends, that's it for your profile. If you have that maximum number and you post something, not all 5,000 people are going to see that. Ever are going to see that.
And why
Uh,
is that, Steve?
and you could do the same post 20 times and you're still not going to see reach all those 5,000 people. And why is that? Because of the algorithm, the way it works, because of people's behaviors online. You don't have all 5,000 of your friends are not all on Facebook at the same time. Some are sleeping. Some are, you know, kayaking. Who knows? Some are driving.
Some are playing gigs, it depends
Some
on
are
what ti
playing gigs,
where you live
and
in the world, what time it is,
some
what
people's
day it
phone
is.
have died. Some people are just like
Yeah.
they're not. Nobody's on social media 24/7. There's people that are on social media a lot, but nobody's on it all the time. People take showers, right? They're not holding their phone outside the shower looking
Or
at
maybe they have a
Facebook.
waterproof case and they're in the shower on social media. Still going, Don't wanna miss anything.
Oh, Joan. Joan is spam. Sorry, Brad. Um,
Okay, so
so,
if you're doing that, then
the
right.
yes. So the point of this is that that's a myth out there that people think like, oh no, I can't post 6 times a day. Oh yes, you can. And and the thing is, the audience that you're trying to reach, if they're seeing your posts and maybe they see a duplicate post, they're not going to be bothered by it because they like you. They already are a fan of you. So I know you're not a social media user, but I am, very frequent. And if I see something on my news feed that I've already seen, but I liked it the first time, I like that I saw it again. If it's a picture, if it's a
Mhm.
video of a band or a short reel or something of something that I enjoyed the first time, I welcome seeing it again. That's great. I forgot about this. I laughed at this yesterday. Something like that. So your target audience, when you're posting stuff, you want to reach, you want your fans, the people who like you, to see your stuff and see it often, and even see it again if it's a duplicate post. They're not going to mind. They like you. They want to see it. The people that complain about, like, oh, I'm seeing this too much, that's not your target audience. They don't care about you. So don't worry about them. Don't give them any pay them any mind.
See, so not only very insightful and informative is the course, but when you get the coaching aspect of it, like you just did just now, and you get the explanation behind it, there's
Mhm.
also, you know, the human factor of the enthusiasm and the passion and the explanation of it. And this is going to be great. And this is what you do. And it's different than just reading, pages on, on a piece of paper or on a tablet, or even hearing it, spoken to you is even better. But when it's, when you have a live interaction, it's just a different level.
There's emotion involved. Yeah.
Absolutely.
People get emotion. Yeah, I get emotional about it. I get excited about it, and
Hmm.
that does make a difference for sure. So that's a really good point, Tony. Deborah said hello to both of us. Hello, Deborah. Thanks for coming in.
Aloha.
Leo asked, what do I think about ad buys? And I do talk about it in the book. Do I talk about it in the book? Maybe I didn't really get into it uh, actually in the book, so that could be for another book. But what I think about ad buys, I did the one thing I mentioned in the book about ad buys is that if you don't know what you're doing with organic posts, like if you don't know how to construct a post, like put in the right text, pick the right images, um, if you don't know what you're doing with that, paying for ads is not going to help. It's not going to make anything better. All you're going to be doing is pissing away your money, because it's not a magic pill paying for ads. That doesn't mean that, like, all of a sudden you're going to get a ton of traffic and likes or people to your show. It's not going to work that way. There's thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people, companies and whatnot, buying ads and ad space on Facebook. If you scroll through your Facebook feed, every third or fourth post is an ad. So there's, I mean, maybe hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people spending money on ads. So you got to know what you're doing. You got to know how to target the proper audience. You got to know how to really construct an engaging post with a good image, with good text, with the right keywords. I mean, there's a lot to it. So so if you're going to work on trying to get your reach and stuff, work on it organically, where you're not spending money, where you're not wasting money. Get the hang of how to really put an engaging post together, and see what works before you spend any money, because it's not a solution at all.
No, it sounds like a catapult for if you already have something that's successful and you know what your
Right.
target audience is and you have a reach, right? Then you can say, now it's worth me to spend some money on an ad to get even more people, but in this target.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, I did it. I've done it. I've spent money on ads, but still, for me, it's been somewhat difficult. Really, only recently have I really learned the right ways to do it, and it's worked to a degree. But I think I have better success with my organic stuff, mostly because of the size of the audience. It's 750,000 people, so I have that target audience there to reach without having to spend any money. Um, but I've tried it, and it does work to a degree. But again, I needed to really work on it, and I really needed to think about constructing the right post. What image am I going to use? What is there going to be text in the image? Is it going to be funny or insightful or inspiring? What is the text in the description? What am I saying? How am I saying it? How am I getting people's attention? How am I getting them to care? You have a couple of seconds at the max, at the most, to grab people's attention with something when they're scrolling through a news feed. I mean, maybe you have 1 second to grab somebody's attention where they're going to take some sort of action. They're going to click on your ad. They're going to, you know, engage with that post.
Mm.
You got to know what you're doing. You just have to. It's a big market. There's a lot of competition. You got to know your target audience, and target audience is something I talk about quite a bit in the book too. Understanding who your target audience is. It's a big factor with advertising anything. That's why I've been always kind of a fan or sort of connoisseur of advertising. Just I would pay attention, especially like on TV and radio, how people advertise and you know what
Well,
works.
and you gotta know where to go, right? You don't advertise your jazz band at the metal club and vice versa,
Right,
right? I
right,
mean, it's all relative. It's just now you're navigating a different platform.
right. I mean that's why you see beer and truck commercials during football games, and you
Mhm.
see tampon commercials on Lifetime or whatever. I mean, that's maybe a
Yeah, but
sexist example, but
no, but it's relative to, what you're saying. It's like you need to know the audience that is your primary, observer, right? That is gonna be drawn to whatever it is that you're selling.
right.
And like I said, that's the key to it. And again, like you said, it's not just putting flyers up in a club like the old days. Now there's a whole different platform to navigate, with a whole bunch of different rules and a whole bunch of different options. And like you said, if you don't know the tricks, you're going to spend a lot of time figuring it out.
You are. And fortunately for you, I learned the tricks and I can give them to you one on one with the coaching. The links again are in the description here for everything: the coaching, the ebook, the audiobook. It's all in there. All very affordable for what you're getting. It's an incredibly worthwhile investment. Mark asked, "Do you have a budget for your marketing?" I wonder if he's. Are you asking about me specifically for Cover Band
How much should
Central?
a band put aside for this kind of effort? Hmm.
Um, for marketing, I would say do your organic marketing. Do that first. Learn that first. Learn like maximize.
But Steve, I think what he's asking is that for budget, instead of saying like, yeah, you need $500 for a budget, or for the year to advertise for your band, you know, private message that person, right, and discuss with them the investment for the course, which is your marketing for the year. Because, like you just said, know your target audience. You're assuming that these people are already very savvy, right, and can market themselves effectively on the
Mhm.
internet. So, marketing budget, right? It's a loaded question if you think about it, right? Does it mean I'm already experienced, and what should I plan on spending to advertise my band, or what's a good budget to figure out how to get to the level that you're speaking about? And I think part of that budget would be, if you don't know how to do it already, would be investing in a course or some coaching.
Invest in this book. $7. I mean, that's a cup of coffee and a donut.
Yeah.
Or the audiobook is $5. That's just a cup of coffee. And but the coaching is a little bit more, but you're going to get a ton out of that. So how much should you put aside? You should put aside the money for those things. Get the book, get the coaching course, and I'll hold your hand and I'll show you everything you need to do. um, Ryan asked, he said, "Hey fellas, should the band be promoting the event and spending their money, or the venue?" Again, I'll just
Mm.
repeat what I said. Don't spend your money to promote your event where you're probably not making a whole lot of money anyway. If you're playing in a band, you're probably not making a ton of money,
Well,
unless I
I guess
maybe are. I don't
but
know.
he's saying, or the venue. So most venues do advertise the bands, on Facebook, right? I know a lot of the venues that we play, they all advertise and say, all the bands, every whatever days of the week they have them, they're all accounted for. So but the venue will also say, the band has to do their part too in advertising it. Which we do. We always promote our gigs on Facebook and through other means. Through our social media guy in the band that does it.
Yeah, but if he's asking, should the venue? Maybe they should, but it doesn't. It's not your concern. You don't have any control over that, and that's an issue that comes up in the group a lot. People getting pissed off, like, "Yeah, man, we really tried to advertise our gig, and the venue didn't even have a sign outside." That stinks, but there's nothing you can do about that. Some venues just don't promote their events.
Right. And
So,
maybe not all venues are on the internet, right? Is what you're saying? Maybe
right.
not, they don't all, promote.
I Yeah, I've seen very few that actually have an active Facebook page where they're doing the stuff that I talk about in the book and really promoting their gigs. Like I haven't seen any venues that do that. Some venues
Hmm.
have Facebook pages that are absolute ghost towns, and there's nothing new since 2019. Um, so you can't rely on the venue, and you can't concern yourself with it either because you have no control over it. But I would just say learn all the organic ways before you spend money promoting your event. You're probably not making a lot of money playing the gig. Why should you spend money? to make that little bit of money. Learn, I mean, spend the money on these programs. Get them to the show. $7, $5 for the audiobook. It's $175 for the coaching for an hour. The links are all in the description. Well worth it. You're gonna get that money back 100-fold. So I hope that answers your question, Ryan. But I like to know more about these people. I wish I could have that one-on-one conversation with Mark or with Ryan and ask questions, find out what's your band, where do you play, where do you normally play, how much money do you normally make, how many people come there, what kind of music are you doing, how often do you I want to know all those things because I really love this. It's fun for me. It's like a game. It's like, all right, how
No,
can
but
we
then you can
ah, ha,
tailor it though.
ha, how
Right,
can we
but then
make this better?
you can tailor it to specifically
Yes.
that need. That's what we were talking about earlier, right? So anyone can get the course, but there's so many other variables that go along with that. That's where people need the help, right? Because you can fine tune it.
Yeah, because geographical location is a factor. Time of year is a factor.
Hmm.
Um, any sort of events going on, holidays going on. There's all sorts of the fact. Who was it before? Brad said hurricane going on. Sometimes people have hurricane parties. You know, um, who knows? I mean, things. I mean, it happens. Sometimes I've seen it happen. Like a hurricane's coming. We're going to have a big bash tonight before the
I'm having an outdoor party, a big
outdoor
tent.
party, but before the hurricane comes, we're gonna have a
Yeah.
band and we're gonna play and we're gonna drink a keg and
Well,
whatever. I mean, there's like you said, so many variables that come with this, and I love working one on one with people. And so I think I mentioned it to you, maybe not, but I definitely didn't say it publicly here. But I did my first coaching session, and this was before I even offered it to the public. But I did it with Mike Massey, who is a songwriter or a singer, guitar player, and he's pretty popular. He's touring all over the country right now, solo. So he plays guitar, sings, and he does covers, and he's really good. And he's got 56,000 followers on his Facebook page.
wow.
And he came to me asking me for help. And at first I was like, I looked at his page. I'm like, this guy's doing really good. I don't know how I can help him. But then I was kind of digging in a little more. I was like, okay, maybe this, maybe that. And I was like, well, let me find out exactly what his needs are. So we got on the phone and, he started asking me specific questions and I had answers for him based on my experience where I could direct him and what he could do. And that was, it was about a week and a half ago. I had that meeting with him. Since then, and you guys can all check up on me on this. You can go look it up right now. Look up his page, Mike Massey. It's Masse. Um, he's got a page. I'm friends with him on Facebook too. He has been taking my advice, and I've been seeing it every day and all of his posts, and I'm like, wow, okay, this guy not only listened, but it's working. I can see it in real time. It's working. So, and he's the guy. I don't know, Tony, if you're familiar, but it was 10 or so years ago. He had a video that went out on YouTube, and it was a cover of Africa by Toto, and it was just him and this other guy Jeff playing bass, both of them singing, and just a brilliant version. And it was at a place called Pie Pizza in Utah, just a bar,
Hmm.
just the two of them sitting there playing an acoustic gig. And this video went viral. It is in the multi. It's 50. I forget how many. It's 17 million or more than that, maybe 170 million, something like that, views on this one video. He
Wow.
even had Steve Lukather give him props
Wow.
on the video. So, and this is a guy that I've coached. So, and he gave me a testimonial today, which I was very pleased with. I reached out to him and asked him if he would, and he did. So I'm going to post that in the coaching on the coaching page, his testimonial, just so you can see this is legit, folks. Like I know what I'm doing
Nice.
and I'm helping people. Um, so Ryan came back. He said a lot. I don't know what a lot meant, but we do weddings and corporate events. No promotion needed. I'll buy the book because I love learning new info. There you go, Ryan. I like it. Um,
Ah, yeah.
so, well, he had asked about promoting the event, but he said now they do weddings and corporate events, so they don't need to promote.
Yeah, but
And you'll definitely still learn something from the book.
absolutely.
I'm trying to have it. There we go. So yeah, a band like that. If you're doing weddings, obviously you're not promoting your gigs, and you're not trying to get people to the gigs.
No,
That's the
but maybe,
bride and groom's job.
but maybe they're trying to promote their band to get more wedding gigs, right?
Yes,
So they want,
sir.
right? There's always an angle that you may not need to promote the gig or the venue, but maybe they need to promote the band to say like, hey, we're just a hot wedding band, and if you guys are interested, here's our contact information, and have a promo to like you would do with a showcase. We used to do that all the time
Mhm.
back in the day. We had a wedding video and we had a club video.
Mhm.
Two different demographics, two different markets.
Excellent point, Tony. As always.
Hmm.
Yeah, this information will help you in that regard, and
Sorry,
maybe not the
down horn.
specific tips to take, but it's going to get your the wheels going in your mind, and it's going to say, okay, well, I can take this idea and apply it this way to my thing.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's I'm glad Ryan said he's going to get it, and I really am excited to hear what he says after he reads it. So Ryan, please let me know after you get the book. Send me an email. Let me put my email address up here, and let me know what you think. Steve at coverbandcentral.com is how you could reach me for anything, really. Um, but let's see. He said, yes, sir. That's why I want to buy the book. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Ryan. I
Awesome,
appreciate
Ryan. Thanks, man. Have a great
it
night.
because we're just talking, but it's great work, apparently, to Ryan.
Well,
Um,
like you said, it's informative and it's helpful. We're here to help people. We're not here to try to school people or tell them this is the way you should do something. We're only
right.
here, like we've been from episode 1, just to
Yeah.
share our knowledge, our collective, wisdom of what not to do, right? From having done it over the years and having learned these lessons the hard way. And, now we can share with the world some of these things. And a lot of people know this already too, but there's always someone out there that doesn't know these things when you talk about it. And as a
Hmm.
student, you're excited to learn things and you're excited to make your teacher proud. As a
Hmm.
teacher, you're excited to see your student develop and make and aspire, right? We're here to inspire to aspire, right? Self-motivation is aspiration, right? So you can only tell someone so many times to do something. It's up to that person to actually do it, whether it's lifting weights, exercising, playing a musical instrument, anything that takes discipline, is going to require that same mindset.
Indeed. And you have to really kind of have the drive to want to learn, to want to
Hmm.
get better, to want to improve. And a lot of us, as we get older, kind of lose that spark. But I think musicians are a special breed, I think. And there's something about us that keeps us driven, keeps us always wanting to improve.
And you're never too old to learn something new.
That's right. Um,
You know,
and as
and you're never too old to get to your true potential either as a musician. It just takes the dedication of the time to practice. You could do that at any age.
Yeah. And, just like learning an instrument, just like playing an instrument where you have to practice, doing this whole social media thing is the same. You have to
Hmm.
practice it. And it's not as hard as playing drums or playing guitar or bass or anything. But it still does take practice and discipline. You have to discipline yourself. But it's not difficult. When people hear that, they're like, oh, I don't have time. I can't do all that stuff. Nonsense. It doesn't take a lot of time. It just takes learning the right thing to do and executing it, doing it. Another thing I say in the book is, um, just get started. The hardest thing for a lot of people is to get started. But you have to start if you're going to start. You got to start. You have to just start doing it, and you don't.
You got to
Seriously,
start. If you're going to start, you got to start.
you got to start. But
Start it up.
and people think, oh, I got to do all these things. You don't have to do everything all at once. You just have to start. Get started.
That's it.
Um,
Just post one thing. Hi,
Mark
I'm
said.
Steve.
Mark said, in your consultation, do you give recommendations for developing set lists? I can, sure, absolutely, Mark. That's one of my biggest fortes. I love putting set lists together.
Oh man, Mr. Setlist over here.
I love doing it. It's something I really enjoy. There's an art to it. There's a whole craft to a set list. I love doing it. So yeah, I'm glad you asked that question, Mark, because you sign up for the coaching thing, it's not going to be necessarily limited to your social media game. You got something else you need help with? Bring it on. Let's do it. Let's get into it. Let's solve it. Let's figure it out now so that you can so you can move forward feeling confident, feeling what's the word I'm looking for? Just confident,
Secure.
secure, and empowered is the word I was looking for.
There you
Moving
go.
forward with knowledge to do this stuff, and when you see it working, my phone's ringing. When you see it working,
Oh, another satisfied customer calling for
yes,
the
they're calling for the
consultation.
coaching right there. There we go. Um, when you see it working, it just invigorates you. It gets you more excited about playing.
Yeah.
It's a renewed life in your band and in the music. It's kind of like, you might have played a song 100 times or 1,000 times, but then you play it with a new band, and all of a sudden that song is brand new. And it's like, oh wow, because the drummer plays it a little differently. The bass player is hitting different notes. The singer is hitting falsetto where the other singer did. I mean, there's so
Yeah.
many variables to it, and it just excites you and gets you like it makes you feel brand new. So yeah. So
Again,
Mark, I'm
it's the push. It's that
yeah. So
push,
Mark,
the
thank you
empowerment.
for asking that question. Yeah, I would absolutely help you with set lists and anything else that anybody needs in that hour. You know what? That hour is yours. You want that? You book the call, the coaching call, whatever you want. We'll do it. I'm trying to focus on this because I think this is where people need the most help in
Hmm.
marketing their band online, in getting people to their shows instead of just doing Facebook event invites, getting people to their shows, making some more money, playing to packed houses, much more fun. Wouldn't you agree? To play to packed houses.
Absolutely. But not only that, just to have the presence, online, is empowering in itself.
Hmm.
Just to see, like you said, the results as they happen.
Hmm. And you see it happen basically in real time. You could try something out and you're going to know within an hour or two if it's something that would work or not, if it's something that's working. I mean, like I know with Cover Band Central posts, I know within 5 minutes after putting something up if it's going to be something that's going to have reach, if it's going to have legs, or if it's going to kind of peter and die. Um, I know it pretty much right away.
And it's interesting, Steve, what you said earlier, like, whatever you want to do, just bring it on because it can be so varied because there's so many variables within marketing a band, playing in a band, song selection, set list arrangement of those particular songs, right? The ebb and flow of a set list. There's all kinds of criteria along with that, making the set list more of a show than just a list to run down. How many songs should you play before you stop and pause and speak to the audience? What songs go into each other tempo wise, chord wise. Is there changes? Like there's a lot that goes into it, right? But you make that by trial and error, where you maybe play 100 gigs, and out of the 100 gigs you had like 40 that were absolutely killer, and you go back and say that's the set lists that we want to model ourselves against, for these types of rooms, because we had the most success with these, because for whatever reason it was 6 dance songs in a row and people were up dancing, and this song got them up dancing, but it usually doesn't, but in the last 10 gigs it did. So it's more analytics to that effect.
Hmm.
We save everyone that time. The shortcuts are already established, right? So like you
Yeah.
said, you want to talk about this stuff. You and I talked about set lists 20 years ago when we were doing set lists for Outskirts, and
Yeah.
we were making it into a show. And I remember
Yeah.
you and I used to get together a couple of times on Monday nights after I would teach at Richie's. Somehow we'd rendezvous at like the Fridays, and then we would sit there for like 2 hours and have some drinks and some food, and we would do set lists, and we would talk through it, and we would talk about tempos, and we would talk about the flow, and
Mm.
do you want to come out swinging? Do you want to ease in? Who sings the song in the band? Is this too many songs in a row for the same guy to sing? Like there's, I
Oh,
remember
there's
we
so
like,
much. Yeah.
yeah, there's so much information there that, like you said, that's a whole episode in itself, which we've had in the past set lists,
Yeah.
but it's definitely
But
something that
but if somebody wants to sign
important.
up for this coaching and just work on set lists, I'm happy to do that with you, Mark. So if that's something you want to do,
Yeah.
if somebody wants to sign up for this coaching and just work on how to structure a rehearsal, I'm happy to do that too. Whatever you want to talk about, it's your hour. So you're happy, I'm happy to discuss anything with you, and I will absolutely help you. 40 years in this business, I've been doing it, and I've seen a lot and I've experienced a lot. And I'm not. I wouldn't wouldn't pretend to say that I know everything, but I know a lot of stuff from what I've experienced and what I've seen other people experience and go through. So, but I'm selling this coaching as a thing for social media primarily, but you can use it for whatever you want. So
Come prepared with a list.
come prepared, and it's an hour. If we go over a little bit, that's okay. We're going to make sure that you're happy. I want to make sure that you're happy with the money you spent and the value that you got out of it. That's imperative to me, that you're happy. I could really charge a ton more for this, and other people are mad at me that I'm not charging more for this. Um, but I'm like, I gotta make this affordable for musicians. I gotta do it. It's it's there's so many people that really could use some guidance. There's nobody else out there that I'm aware of that is offering like coaching at a really
No, this
discount
is a
price.
very unique thing, Steve, just in general to
Yeah,
have an opportunity like this, because like you said, there's a huge platform of musicians out there, and with a few minor tweaks, you can really, double your money, double your audience. You can really make some huge gains, double the quality of the sound of the band. Like there's so many improvements that can be made if you just pay attention to the details that, like you said, we've gone through over the 40 years of playing and being in bands, and that you just accumulate a ton of knowledge about things that work and what doesn't. So it's easy to say these 500 things didn't work, but these 100 did. So here's the 100, and here's how you do them.
right. Yeah, yeah, that's it. A lot of that
Save yourself a lot
information,
of time.
a lot of the information on the social media front, and, I mean, and the stuff in the book can really kind of be applied to a lot of things. But gettemtotheshow.com is where you can go. And again, there's a link in the description. You could just click on that link and it'll take you right to that page. But that's the URL, that's the domain for the ebook. And for the other things, for the one-on-one coaching and the audiobook, the links are in the description of this live stream video here. So you can click on that and it'll take you right there. I'm going to have it set up soon where if you go to the ebook, there'll be links to the other things right from that page. I'm not quite there yet, but I'll have it set up soon. That's my plan anyway, Tony.
That's your next move, Steve. It's not a plan, it's gonna happen.
We want to
On
tie
the
it all
schedule.
together, make it easy for people. That's what it's all about, trying to make it easier for you so you can just focus on your having fun playing. Playing music is fun.
And saving time, Steve. Time's such a commodity nowadays, you know what I mean? If something's gonna take me 6 hours and I can streamline it down to 2 by spending some money to figure it out, and then I can do it for 2 hours going forward because I have the knowledge and experience now, who's not gonna wanna do that, you know? Like I said, time is just such a precious commodity nowadays. It's just not enough time to go around anymore.
Yeah. And that's another factor that stops people from promoting their bands the right way. "Well, I don't have enough time." You know what? It doesn't take a lot of time. And you could do, once you learn how to do this the right way, you learn about the content, you learn how to create and curate content, you learn how to organize it, and you learn how to schedule it.
But
You
Steve,
can
it gets back to the motivation though and the empowerment part of that. Because people are sitting out there right now saying like exactly what you just said. Ah, man, I don't have the time for this. Like Steve may have some great ideas, but I just don't have the time for it. Well,
Mhm.
guess what? If you don't have the time for it, then you don't care enough about it, right? And if you care about something, you're going to make the time for it. So when you're pumped up and you say, you know what, like, yeah, I'm going to make the time to do this and I'm excited to see the results and I am pumped up about the band and I'm going to get my band pumped up about it and I'm going to start tomorrow, with this new attitude and I'm going to, move forward and be excited about what I'm doing. That's what you got to get people to realize that they have to self motivate themselves to be able to take the first step. Like you said, to start, you got to start. So make a decision to start and do it. And then once you do it, commit to it wholeheartedly, 100%. And like anything else in life, you will see success from it. But you got to commit
Absolutely.
to it.
And that is absolutely the hardest part, and that is absolutely what keeps people from starting or procrastinating
Hmm.
from starting is like they're just their idea that it's going to be hard or it's going to take a lot of time. And this just doesn't. It once you learn how to do it the right way, it doesn't, and you can sit and schedule a week's worth of posts in 5 minutes.
Hmm.
You know, you could do it while you're sitting on the toilet. If you get you know, once you get everything organized and you know what you're doing, you could do it while you're waiting at the bus stop, while you're, riding in your Uber, anything. Like it doesn't take a lot of time. It just takes knowing what to do
But
and
then
how to do it.
to your point earlier too, though, you'll have those that are already doing it and are saying, "Man, I wish I could get a little more out of this," right? Like, I'm not seeing the success I thought I was going to see. So they already are in it. They have the time dedicated to it, but it's not efficient.
Right. Um,
Dale Clay, yeah.
Said great advice. I'll put it into motion. Deborah said, "Is there some kind of live broadcast alert here at Facebook too?" I don't know what that means. Do you understand that question?
Is there some kind of live broadcast alert here at Facebook? So maybe for the podcast, is she saying is there some kind of alert that tells them when the podcast comes on?
Um, there should be. I mean, you can always, if you follow the page and you make it a favorite, I think you get notified. But I think during this broadcast, you can click on something that says, to notify you when we go live. I'm not sure if that's her question, but
I'm not
uh,
sure either, but that's how I read it.
oh, okay. Well, you read it right because she said yes to 20 things.
All right.
The Time
Maybe
Machine said, bought the ebook a few days ago. Going to take the time to read, absorb, and enact the tips from it. Thank you. Let me know how it goes. I want to hear feedback. I want to hear success stories.
yeah.
I'm really excited that people are getting this and doing it and putting this stuff into action. I'm seeing it already. I'm really excited. I'm so excited. I get so excited when it comes across my newsfeed. It was like, and I see posts from somebody like, "Ooh, that person bought the book. Ooh, look at what they're doing. Ooh, it
Yeah.
works." I
Yes.
know it. I know it works. I know it works. I've been doing this for 10 years and learning, trying, screwing up, and wanting to quit. How many times? I don't know. I can't tell you, dude, how many times
Many.
I wanted to give this up and be like, "Ugh, why am I doing this? What is the
But think of
point?
the
Nobody."
thousands of hours too that you've spent, doing this. That's what you're paying for the consultation
Yeah,
for,
you're
you know?
paying, yeah, 175.
Yeah, yeah, for, 10,000 hours worth of effort,
10,000, yeah, I would see at least 10,000 for in the
Yeah,
last 10 years of the time that I've put into Cover Band Central.
yep,
765,000 followers now we have. We're gonna hit 1,000,000 next year at the current pace. And again, I did this by myself, and
yep.
I'm not that bright. I have my moments, but I just had to I had to figure it out as I went. But what was vital here was I was so driven to have this thing work. I so knew that there was a community of cover band of musicians who play covers all over the world. I knew that existed before I started Cover Band Central. And I was so intent on getting this community together, getting all these people from all over the world in one spot. And I was like, I wanted to be a part of that community. I want to talk to a musician from Nebraska who's playing at a bar. I want to talk to somebody who's in Spain. I want to know what the cover band situation is in Africa. Like that's just me. I'm a music fan. I'm a huge music fan. But I did it all by myself, and the key component there was I was just driven. I loved it. I loved this. I love music. I love bands. I love this community, and I never stopped loving it. And the love just grows stronger. And when I've had the heartaches, I've had the disappointments, I've had the people tell me, people are incredibly rude to me sometimes. And when it gets me down a little bit sometimes, but I just pick myself up and like, it doesn't matter. I love this. This is my baby. This is my community. And I'm never going to stop.
Well, and you had a passion and a belief in it and, like I said, the motivation to do it. But for years you had that, right? And then the one thing that changed, Steve, was that you started
I
Cover
started.
Band Central. You started it. Okay, you made the first step, you started it, and then as you exponentially grew it, the passion and the belief and the dream and all the effort and the motivation and the energy and the positivity, it just kept growing and growing and growing and becoming, like you said earlier, right? It's becoming inspiring, and now it's becoming fulfilled, and you're getting a boost, and it's like wind underneath the wings of Steve for Cover Band Central. So that's just it. You got to get started, and you got to
Yeah.
believe in it, and you got to love it.
And work through those obstacles, work through those challenges. I say it in the book. There's going to be
Yeah,
challenges. There's going to be disappointments. There's going to be times when you want to quit. There's going to be times when you say, like, this isn't working. You got to plow through. You got to keep moving. Got to keep moving. Mark said, thank you. You're welcome, Mark. And I look forward to talking to you. I hope he said, I think he said he's getting the book. Maybe that was
cool.
somebody else, but he was talking about the consultation, the coaching. I would be happy to talk to you, Mark. Please sign up for it. The link is in the description. Schedule a time. Let's get together. Let's talk. Let's figure stuff out. You're going to walk away from that hour feeling empowered. You're going to feel enriched. You're going to feel just confident in your situation and what you're doing, and you're going to be excited. I want to excite people. I want people to be thrilled. Like, oh yeah, this is great. I talked to the guy from Cover Band Central, and now I got all this information, and now we're going to do this, and then you're going to see it work. And when you see it work, you're just going to be thrilled. So I can't wait to talk to you, Mark. Anybody else who wants to sign up, the link is in the description. Check it out. There's a whole, there's a sales page there. You can read a little bit more information there that we didn't discuss here. But you can sign up right there right away. You can schedule it right away. I made a lot of different time slots all throughout the day for people. So, if you're working, you want to do it in the evening, you want to do it early morning, whatever you want, pick your time, and we'll get together and we'll do stuff.
You get them to the
Time machine.
show, Steve. That's what
Time
you do.
machine. Time machine said, although even also, even though we haven't been able to catch the live broadcast lately, we're always listening to the podcast. So cool. Thank you.
All right.
We
Thank you.
we do have for people watching the video here, the live stream. If you're watching the repeat or the replay, we do have a uh, audio podcast. I didn't. And he said, "Great job." I did not put the link here, but you can find it on your favorite podcast channel. Just look up Cover Band Central podcast, or look up Wisdom Hour, which it used to be called.
Yes.
It might still be up there as Wisdom Hour too. You never know. But we've done 205 now,
Yeah,
Tony. So
205. So we're into the 200s now, Steve.
yeah,
300. Next stop, 300.
and we could talk on that just for a second too. With this, Tony and I have been friends for a long time. We neither of us did a podcast before this. We just
Oh,
wanted to. We just
yeah.
want we talked. We had lots of phone conversations, but we wanted to do something that was like, all right, let's take advantage of technology and the new trend in podcasting and all that, and let's do our own. And neither of us knew what we were doing. We figured it out as we went along. We just we were like,
Yeah.
the first, if you go back, you can listen to episode number 1. You can find it. I think it's on Apple. It's on Google Podcasts, and hear the difference between now and then.
Oh, yeah. The audio
And
quality, and now with the video, it's unbelievable.
yeah, and the progression. We just started it as an audio podcast.
Yeah.
So you and I could probably write an ebook on
How to
podcasting,
start a
and
podcast. Yeah.
yeah,
What to do and what not to do, for sure.
because we've been doing it now for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yep.
So anyway, link is in the description for everything, guys. I am so psyched for the people that have gotten this book and are doing this stuff. It's really, really exciting for me. Um, I did this. It's a labor of love, man. And I have to sell stuff in order to make a living, but I really, really enjoy all of this and showing and sharing this knowledge with you guys. It's exciting to me to see it being implemented and seeing it working and seeing how happy it makes everybody else. It really is incredible. Um, Deborah said heaps of great transcript from your podcast would be material CBC book. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Think about
If you want to do that transcribing, Deborah, be my guest. Because that's going to take a lot of time.
a lot of information and a lot of
200 and
episodes, man. Yeah,
205
205 hours.
hours episodes.
There's probably
Um,
5 good hours worth of information, though, out of the
yeah,
205.
right.
Probably gather up 5 valuable hours.
Yeah, I don't know how much more information you're going to get.
One a year.
Once again, getthemtotheshow.com is where you can get the ebook, and the links for the other stuff is in the description. Coverbandcentral.com is the website, and I'm not going to say it. for the rest of it. I'm not gonna say it because there's changes coming to the website, and we'll be talking about that in the near future.
Woo, all right.
And Steve at coverbandcentral.com is how you could reach me, or if you want to get to Tony, it's Tony at coverbandcentral.com.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
Woo.
All right. Thank you guys all for listening and watching, and hopefully we'll be back sooner. I'm going to be doing a ton of live streaming over the next week or over the next month.
Yeah, they'll see months and months and months of you. I don't know when they'll see me again, but soon enough.
Again, thanks everybody out there. Be cool, be safe, be
onwards
fruitful,
and upwards.
Onwards and upwards. Yeah.